Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. We're at 11821 Southeast Pine Street here in Portland. I describe everything as if you're standing in the street looking at the front of the house, or the building in this case. We're at the front left corner, just a few feet in. Front corner there, we've got a 4-inch ABS clean out. I'm going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. So we've got some water running right now. These are actively lived-in units, so I don't have complete control over the water flow right now. But I'm kind of leaving it up to the tenants right now to put water down there. It's much easier to get water on in these cases than it is off. So anyhow, we're going to zero out here at the base of the cleanout. Off we go. Alright, got somewhat of a belly here in the line. We'll take a look at this here in just a moment. Someone flushed it's either a ball of wipes down the line or a huge ball of toilet paper. So you do have a belly there with somewhat of an offset. We'll revisit that here in just a moment. In the world of bellies and offset joints there, that is kind of in the, it's about the point where I start to consider repairs. But more than anything, my biggest concern with stuff like that is, as long as the joint does not appear to be compromised and open to the ground, to where it'll create a progressive scenario, 4-inch pipe like this diameter of pipe, with a belly that looks like it's holding right around an inch of water, generally speaking, requires quite a bit of abuse on the homeowner's side to ever get something to act up. Anyway, we've reached the main here at 30 feet out. Nice short sewer line. We're going to go locate that really clear while the line continues to drain, and then we'll pull back and take a second look at everything. Alright, located the camera head successfully. Line does essentially a dead straight shot from the clean out to the street. You've got a little bit of grease and debris in here, but you know, for being the size of the building is with many units in it, this is actually a very clean line for a multiple unit setup like this. We're just about back to the joint here. We'll take a look at that. It isn't helping our case right now as we got this bunch of soap bubbles in the line. You know, the offset here is only hitting about a 1/4 inch up off the flow line. And I mean, as far as offsets go, that's very minor. And what's not helping things right now, I'm trying to clear this big chunk of toilet paper out of the line. It's partially damming the pipe up right now. When you actually clear that flow line out and let the water drain, the belly here really is not terribly significant, and it's kind of getting an exaggerated look right now because the line's full of soap bubbles. Like what's pushing up in front of my camera lens right now isn't even water, it's soap. Let's see if I can find a hose bib here so I can dump some water down the clean out and clear that out. Well, unfortunately, oh, I hear some water coming down line. This might help us here. I've tried to clear this stuff out well enough, or as best I can. Let's see if we can use that water flow to help move some stuff along here. What I think is exaggerating the look of this right now is someone's flushed just a ton of stuff down the line at once. A bunch of balled up toilet paper. If these low flow toilets, you know, not that you don't already know this, they put such low volume down the line that you really gotta often do multiple toilet flushes. But right as I unpaused the camera there, when the water started coming down the line, the water level in this spot was only sitting probably around 1/4 to 1/2 inch of standing water. What I'm trying to get a good look at here is the flow line. Got some kind of oddity stuff sticking out of that pipe joint there. Yeah, what I'm looking at right now, right in front of us, I can't tell what got flushed down this line. It looks like someone put something improper down the line, and it got crammed between the joint. Is all this? That looks like it's a chain. Like someone flushed a necklace down the line. You can see the piece of metal, a little clasp on it. Anyway, not something we want to have in the sewer line there. And that right there is where all the debris was hung up in the line. All of it was catching on that thing. Much more of it caught on that item there than even the pipe joint. So what I'm probably going to recommend here is a jet. Right now, this is not really rising to... I mean, if I pull back right here, when you get just right behind the belly, this is what tells you everything. All of your debris buildup stops smack dab at the start of the belly past this point, which is an indicator this is not causing, and I wouldn't expect to see tons of debris buildup in here, not unless someone was abusing this thing like no tomorrow, with wipes, paper towels, things like that. We'll give this a moment here to see if we can fully drain it off, but what I'm most interested in getting done here is seeing if that item can be drain cleaned from the sewer line. Remove it, take a second look. Now, as long as we're not seeing any obvious signs that joint's open to the ground here, I mean, there's not even, the reason for cleaning this is not because of buildup associated with the belly, it's to remove the items stuck at the pipe joint. Just want to make sure you understand that. This line is very clean, with almost no backup evidence. You have a little bit of debris up the sidewalls there. It's a very thin layer. Most importantly, though, all of it starts and stops in the dimensions of the belly. None of it is preceding it. When you start getting tons of debris stuck to the sidewalls and the top of the sewer line leading all the way back to the home and onto the interior, that's what tells you the line is actually blocking and backing up. As it sits right now, the line is fully drained off at this point. And I've done a bit of sloshing around in here, sloshed a lot of water out of it. You know, static with no water running at all, you've got a well, it runs from 3 feet to, it's just, you know, it's right around 3.5 feet long, and it's holding about 1 inch of standing water. You know, by and large there, when I don't get a super great view of the joint just because as soon as I pull back in, I go into standing water. I'm not seeing strong signs of that joint. It looks like it's open to the ground. So when there's barely enough debris in the line, or debris buildup, I should say, to even recommend cleaning, I hesitate to start recommending you tear a sidewalk out and redo the sewer line. Not to say that something like this couldn't cause problems. I mean, it's got a necklace stuck at the joint. I mean, there's stuff going on here aside from the joint that had the potential to cause a blockage, and still nothing is backed up. So what I'd like to see is get that debris removed from the pipe joint so you don't have some chain or whatever that is snagging debris up as it goes to the sewer line. But, you know, post-jetting, rescope it, make sure that the item was removed, and also at that point, you want to do that cleaning immediately after the cleaning is done. That's when the water will be the cleanest and clearest. You'll get your nicest view of everything, and at that point, you'll be able to get a good view of the pipe joint. Right now, the joint does not appear to be open to the ground, but you'll get a nicer view at that point. You know, I'm most interested in getting that item removed from the line so it's not contributing to anything. I just located that just so you're aware of where that joint is. That spot there stops it right in the middle of the sidewalk. You're about 5 feet deep there. So anyway, after 13 years of scoping lines and about 24,000 scopes, You know, bellies like that are that one I would call it's sitting in and around my breaking point. My breaking point is typically a 5-foot section of pipe with an inch of water. That's where I start to consider repairs. I don't recommend repairs on every single one of those. You know, you've got an offset in there, but the offset is minor. It's only about it's just barely hitting the bottom of my camera lens. So you don't have a huge, tall, hard obstruction in the middle of the flow line. In fact, the item that's caught at the joint is probably causing more flow issues than the joint itself. So anyway, what I'm recommending here is cleaning to remove that object from the pipe joint, a rescope one. Check the work. I'm not really that terribly concerned about you running a jet through the entire sewer line, but you may have to just to blow that item out of the line. But rescope just to take one more good gander at the pipe joint. Right now you've got some debris, kind of a foreign object there that's crammed into the joint that could be obscuring our view from something. I want to make sure that the joint isn't open to the ground. You don't potentially have, like a root intrusion sitting behind it or something like that that's grabbing it. Assuming the joint's intact there, you can get the object removed from the sewer line. This belly, in my opinion, is not significant enough to warrant repairs. Especially considering there's zero debris buildup, and the debris buildup that there is very thin layer. It's not the kind of stuff you get with recurring blockages that are happening frequently. It's a very minor amount of debris. I see that kind of stuff on lines with zero structural issues on a frequent basis. So that's my 2 cents on it. As long as the joint's holding up and it's sealed up tight, that's the kind of belly there that causes problems, just plain and simple, when you abuse the line. You have to do it fairly heavily. It's 4-inch diameter pipe. It's plastic, which... This is my favorite diameter pipe here. It handles volume very nicely. It also handles abuse quite nicely too. Not that you should do that, but just so you know. So belly with about 1 inch of water and about a 1/4 inch or so offset joint there. Beyond that, the rest of the line we just scoped here, all of it's in good shape, has good flow, and is functioning properly at this time.